Okay, so welcome to the 2020 challenge. I am the Sociology Guy. This time last year, well, actually a little bit later on this time last year, I did the 40-day challenge where I attempted 40 10-mark questions in 40 days in the lead up to the A-level sociology exams, in the lead up to the first exam, paper one. This year, I'm going one better. I don't know if it's better really, but I'm doing 20-mark questions this year. And what I'm going to try and do is do 20 20-mark essays in 20 days. So really it should be called the 2020 challenge. But, you know, I'm splitting hairs there. I'm doing it a little bit earlier because obviously there's lots of things kind of going on, and one of the major things that's going on is obviously this sort of like kind of coronavirus, which means that instead of sitting in the pub tonight, I am sitting at home with a peppermint tea, which is not great. So I'm deciding to use my spare time constructively, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through sort of like some of the questions I will look at on the 2020 challenge for you in here. So of course you can follow me on @the Sociology Guy. You can go to my you can go to my Instagram site, which is the Sociology Guy, and you can also go to my website where I've got free revision resources, mind maps, knowledge organisers, exam tips, checklists, model answers. Okay, before I go through what I'm going to do, just a disclaimer: I've got no prior knowledge of what is on the A-level exams. I don't know what's going to be on the exams this year. Any of the questions and items that I create by me. They're not AQA material. They are my specific material. I only tend to do question types that have not appeared on the specimen papers or on the AS or A-level exams up until June of this year. So the questions I create, you're not going to find on past papers. Okay, so what is the 2020 challenge? Right, well, the 2020 challenge is I'm going to do 20 model answers for 20-mark questions. I'm going to release one every day. I'm going to put the questions up on Twitter, and I'm going to put them up on Instagram. And then I'm going to do video walkthroughs. Some of you may have seen some of my video walkthroughs, you know, with really, really bad sound. You'll be glad to know that this year I've bought a brand new microphone. So that one person who followed me, and he was only following me, nobody else, who kept on telling me that my microphone is crap. You'll be really happy to know I've got a new one. And then you can download the model answers on the website. Okay, so that's what the 2020 challenge is. How am I going to do the 2020 challenge? Well, what I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at questions in these areas. So I'm going to do 4 20-mark questions on families and households. I'm going to do 4 on global development. I'm going to do 4 on media. I'm going to do 6 on theory and methods. One of the reasons I'm going to do more theory and methods questions is because there's more areas of theory and methods that haven't been covered than any other. And just to mix it up a little bit, I'm going to do 2 methods in context. Methods in context are very, very hard questions to try and write yourself, but there's a couple in there that I'm going to look at. You might be thinking, why aren't I doing beliefs? Well, quite simply, the reason I don't do beliefs is I've not taught it for 9 years. And the last thing I want to do is give you wrong information when you're writing a beliefs essay. There are lots of other sociology teachers out there who do beliefs. Around about 2/3 of sociology students do beliefs. If you want to follow any of the other people that I follow on Twitter, so people like Kate Flatley, who's the teacher sociology on YouTube, All Sociology, who do some great podcasts on beliefs. The Hectic Teacher is another one, and Tutor to You, they will do stuff on beliefs as well, and they'll be able to help you with those. I know I'm catering to about 1/3 of students by doing global development and media, but unfortunately those are my areas of expertise. So please don't send me emails saying, can you do one on beliefs? No, I can't. Right, so how have I figured out which questions I'm going to ask? Well, what I did is I got a free download here from Tutor to You. Tutor to You aren't paying for any of this, by the way. This is not a paid for advertisement. But basically, Tutor to You have a topic tracker that you can download from their website. You do have to have an account, and what it will do is it will tell you what questions have been asked in what years, and it looks at the 10, the 20, the 4, the 6, the 30, all across the different papers. So what I've done is I've looked at the blanks on their topic tracker, and I've taken areas that have not had a 20-mark question asked to the end of June 2019, or that I've not asked in previous videos, because I have done some videos over the last 2 or 3 years doing this. My rationale for the areas I'm looking at has come from this topic tracker, which is a really, really useful document if you are a teacher or even if you're a student, and to have a look at what type of questions have come up in the past. So let's get to the areas. Now, these are areas where there's not been a 20-mark question come up. Okay, now they are quite speculative. Don't see them as being a prediction. These are quite simply areas where they have not asked a 20-mark question in 2017, 2018 or 2019. Now, childhood is one. Marxism and Family is another one. Gender roles and relationships. Now, that has been on a specimen paper. It has been on an AS paper as well, I think. But gender roles and relationships is a nice question to sort of like model some of the skills that I use. And migration. Now, this one's a little bit more speculative. Migration tends to come up on 10 markers a lot. Could we get a 20-mark question on migration? I don't know. I don't know what is going to come up on the papers. I only look at where there are blanks and where they haven't asked a 20-mark question. Migration as a hot topic. I mean, we've had Brexit and we've had sort of like, obviously, you know, we've had lots and lots of talk about immigration and emigration in the news over the last few years. So there is a lot of quite contemporary content on migration, which means that I'm going to have a go at one. Whether it comes up or not is another matter, but if it does, at least you will have seen a question on migration and you might be able to sort of like get a response from it. Global development, so those of you who do beliefs or media, just switch off now. Modernization theory, they've asked about dependency theory before, sort of like modernization theory is the kind of common one that you might ask. Aid and trade, I think has come up as a 10 marker, but has not come up as a 20, and that used to be quite a popular one on the old specification. Education, I'm going to look at as well, and urbanization. Urbanization does have a few links into sort of like what we're experiencing at the moment with the COVID-19 panic. Media, Marxism and ownership of the media. Now, I have done this one before, but I want to do it a little bit better, mainly because of that one person who sort of like said the sound on my videos was crap. So I'm going to do it better just for you. Globalization and media. That's another one that we could look at. Media and social class representations is another one to look at, and media and gender representations as well. So they are the ones I'm going to focus on there. For the 20 markers and theory and methods. Now, wow, there is a lot of different types of questions that could come up on theory and methods. And again, I've looked at the blanks. Last year it was Marxism. The year before was, the first year was consensus versus conflict. The year before, I believe it was interviews, strengths and limitations of interviews. And there was a year where the paper was left out. The paper was not sat because it was leaked, which is sociology as a science, which is a really, really quite difficult question. But I've looked at the blanks. Things they haven't asked questions on the 10 markers or the 20 markers so far, and I'm going to try and do some of these essays. Modernity versus postmodernity. It's a worrying essay, but it is actually quite straightforward when you get down to it. You look at present one side that sort of says, yes, we're living in a modern society, one side that says we're looking at a postmodern society, and then you come up with this nice conclusion, actually we're living in late modernity. Feminism as an approaches, so it would be something like evaluate the usefulness of feminism to our understanding of society today. Of course, then you're looking at the different branches of feminism and then taking some of feminism from out the course and saying, look, this is what feminism has done for our society. So I'm going to do that as a 20 marker. Structure versus social action. This is one that I've seen in different forums, in different groups. Students get really kind of stuck on this idea of structural versus social action. How am I going to write 20 marks on that? I'll show you. Positivism and interpretivism. I know there's a couple of good essays that are out there on positivism, interpretivism, but there is a blank in there. So I'm going to look at positivism versus interpretivism for that one. Official statistics, right? Now, some people might think they'd never ask a 20-mark question on official statistics, but official statistics has been massive in the news over the last 2, 3, 4 years, probably since 2016 and Brexit. Official statistics are being used to try and prove absolutely everything. So I'm going to look at strengths and limitations of official statistics as a 20 marker, just to give you an idea, because official statistics, people seem to know the disadvantages of them, but don't often know the advantages of them. And therefore, you know, it can be a bit of a tricky essay. And one of the trickier essays, right, and it came up on the old specification, is how the choice of method and the topic of research is influenced by a sociologist's values. So in other words, why might functionists choose positivist methods? Why might feminists choose their own feminist methodology? Why do interactionists choose interpretivist methods? And the methods in context. Now, this really is kind of a shot in the dark. Methods in context, the trend I've seen with the question papers is that they're usually based on a piece of research that exists. So, for example, in 2017, they looked at using field experiments to look at the way teachers had expectations of students, which is essentially Rosenthal and Jacobson's research. So I've picked out two that are commonly used in education: unstructured interviews and parental choice of schools, which kind of leans towards Bull-Bowitz and Bow. Bull-Gowitz and Bow, not Bull-Bowitz and Bow. And official statistics on educational achievement of different social groups, which is things like league tables, right? Or you can extend that to sort of things like university achievement as well. So I'm going to look at those two because I think they might be a little bit sticky. I don't know whether they would come up on a paper, but it's just a way of showing you how a methods in context question works. Okay, so how the 2020 challenge works is I will post questions on Twitter and Instagram on one day, and then the following day I will post a video walkthrough on YouTube, and on my website there will be a downloadable document, a PDF that you can actually just read through what I've written as well. I'm looking to post the first question on the 23rd of March 2020. Originally I was going to do it on the 2nd of April, but obviously I've moved everything forward because I think at this point in time maybe we need a few little distractions away from sort of like everything else that is going on. And I'm going to put the first answer up on the 24th of March, and each day I put an answer up. I put up the answer to the the previous day's question. Okay, hopefully that will help you through this exam period. I am going to do lots more things as we run up to the exams, whenever they may be. At present, all we know is that they are going to go ahead as normal. Obviously, that is very much subject to change. So, hopefully you will log on. Hopefully you will watch these videos. If you are an old subscriber of mine, I'm really sorry that I've bothered you again. I'm fully anticipating about 800 people unsubscribing to me after this video, but you know, hey, maybe I'll get some new ones. Thanks for watching.